Going on Facebook and YouTube, welcome back to another Water Change Wednesday live stream. We've been live streaming on Instagram for about the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so, and pretty much just getting this all set up. It looks like we're good to go though, and I'm just answering a couple questions off Instagram until we get some people in here on the chat. But it's supposed to be 100 degrees plus in California. Will I need a cold pack? So if your temperature in your area is below 90 degrees, you don't need a cold pack. Over 90 degrees, you do need a cold pack. But if it's over 105, I will not ship your order. I'll actually save it until it until the temperature drops below 105. Anything over 105, and it will cook. So shoot, do I watch on Instagram or YouTube? Well, if you watch on YouTube, you actually get a much wider shot, and you can see everything. On Instagram, it's very narrow. Facebook, you get a nice shot too, but YouTube, I think, has the best angle. Hopefully my mic's working. I didn't actually check that. So, let's see. Water change done, but stream away. Thanks, Dink Tanks. Sup, Aquatic Jack. Racks are looking good, brother. Man, thank you. Thank you. Yes, the racks are finally done. There's one more piece of the puzzle that I have to put in place, and that is I have one set up. It's actually the second one from this one right here closest to me. The second one over does not have any CO2 yet, and that's just because I'm waiting on an expansion to my existing CO2. It's actually kind of funny. The CO2 pressure is so high that it's been blowing the CO2 off of the barbs on the check valves, because I have it up to 90 psi right now on the regulator. That's just so I can feed from one CO2 tank and regulator to multiple. There's a mosquito in here. Multiple tanks. Really, honey? You were fine before. You weren't making any noise, and now all of a sudden you gotta squeak. Anyway, coming across loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Appreciate it. What's up, Speakeasy? What's up, Racing? What's up, Kevin? What does light green leaves on my Sagittarius sublata mean? Light green is typically how they grow, unless it's really light green, then maybe it's a nutrient deficiency. But you could shoot me a picture and I can definitely help you out. I just picked up a CO2 kit from Greenleaf Aquatics. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. Well, CO2 can be very troublesome. Try splitting CO2 8 different times off one regulator and one tank, and then talk to me about difficult. What I initially thought would be a cheaper solution than going out and buying several CO2 tanks and regulators has nearly costed me probably the same, very close to the same amount as if I would have just went and got 2 or 3 CO2 tanks and only split them 2 or 3 times instead of trying to split one 16 times, essentially, is what I'm trying to do. So we're going to see how it works, but the pressure is very high. I don't really know what the operating pressure for all the different pieces that I have put in there, and hopefully nothing breaks or shatters or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Have you ever used the Razer LED aquarium light? It does 15K. I have not, JJ. I've never seen that, so I have not. Alright, let's see what some people are saying on Facebook. What's up, Floyd? Welcome. Julie says, have any banana plants? I think I do. If they're not on the website, then no. But I will most likely have them in next week, the end of next week. And next week is actually, before we get into any other questions, I guess I should go over this. There's basically 24 hours left in our August sale. That was 25% off your entire order. Enter the code August25 at checkout. Inventory has been updated, and everything has been on the website for you to be able to get, you know, for the sale right now. After tomorrow, that's it. The sale's over. And then also there's up until September 1st. Hector, can you lower that? There's September 1st, you can still sign up for a plant pack. So, yeah, those are the 2 major updates, really. And then we go away on September 14th, so we will not be shipping any orders after September 12th. This is the last day we'll be shipping orders until September 22nd is when we will be back. Damn, Johnny Hall says, Joey wannabe. Never said I wanted to be Joey there, buddy. What's the best plant for cichlids? Try Anubis. Anubis is good. What's up, Vicky? Can I help you? Can I help you?
What?
Can I help you?
What? I want the game that the Xbox where you showed me where you have to catch the slime.
Okay, I'll get it for you tomorrow or later. Let's see. Need some plants that are red for low tech medium, but none than one kind. Are you trying to do stem plants, bulb type plants? I need to know a bit more about it, or maybe shoot me a picture. Can you stop? If you're gonna be loud, you can go upstairs. Let's see. What's up? Tissue cultures available? Yeah, there's a bunch of tissue cultures on the site. If you go to the website and click on tissue cultures, they should all essentially be there, or just hit search and search tissue cultures. They should all come up. So next week, yeah. So this upcoming week, pretty much, I should have them in Thursday, which means that they'll ship out the following week if I don't have any banana plants. I'm setting up a new rimless 20-gallon planted tank. Should I use regular ADA or powder type, or should I use bulb? I personally think ADA is overrated, but if you have the money, since it's such a small tank, you don't need a whole lot, you could definitely do that. I would recommend Seachem Fluoride, though. It's probably going to be a better bet for you. Alright, let's take some questions from YouTube, and while Honey goes to town on her squeaker toy. Alright. You should do a series on CO2 for beginners, how it works, installing fine-tuning. I definitely will. The problem right now is I don't actually have a system to demonstrate, and I don't want to demonstrate my complicated, very elaborate CO2 system that I've set up over the last couple weeks, because it's just going to confuse people on how it works. So what I want to do is I want to get a small tank, use CO2 for that tank on its own separate thing, and demonstrate it that way. Sound quality is better on this end. Well, yeah, I'm using a semi-professional microphone, so I paid $50 for a tank and kit on Craigslist. Nice. Oh my god, I hate this chat window. I'm only seeing 4 lines of text now. What's wrong with the chat? I was on YouTube Classic, but now I switched to new layout. I hate it. Oh, damn. Should I feed my Sag Sublata through root tabs or ferts? So root tabs would work best for them as they are heavy root feeders. Get a Mubu puffer. Probably not. A small child is sneaking up behind you to kill you. This is true. He is. Let's all be Joey. You need to turn that wall of tanks into one giant 2,000 gallon. I should totally do that. Totally be more like Joey. And while I'm at it, let me get some stingrays and some marijuana. And what does he have now? Trophius? Let me do some Trophius too. Be just like Joey. I want to be just like Joey when I grow up. If I wanted to be just like Joey, believe me, there's plenty of people on YouTube that want to be just like Joey, and they show it through their videos. I definitely do not. Joey is a friend. I chat with him usually almost every day, so you know, there's nothing that I'm not trying to be Joey. No games for you, Hector. Learn all the names of the plants, one tank, and you can get a game. That's right. What is a good floating plant? Dwarf water lettuce is a pretty good one. Typically, shipping on it can be a bit tricky. It's really a hit or miss sometimes when I ship it, so I don't know. I don't know the perfect way to ship it. Sometimes it goes in completely fine, and sometimes it doesn't. But water lettuce is a good one. Frog bit's another good one. I will have some Savinia sooner or later. I need to wait for it to regrow. Then I'll have some of that. What diffuser do you use to disperse the CO2 to your tanks? So CO2 on The original setups of all the old tanks that I had were the atomic inline diffusers that run inline with your outflow of your canister filter. And now I'm using something called a Greg Ricks reactor. It's a bit different. It pretty much has a 99.9% dissolution rate. You don't see micro bubbles, and it allows you to, one, not waste CO2, because when you have micro bubbles, essentially once they reach the top of the water, they burst and that CO2 is lost. Because this type of reactor essentially makes no micro bubbles, you don't lose anything through floating up and hitting the top of the water surface. So, what's up, Big Easy? I say duckweed, but it's hard to get rid of once you have it. There is actually, but I thanks to Joey, actually. It's funny that we were talking about him. I watched one of his older videos on building a surface skimmer. I had tried this a while back with another one of my tanks, but it didn't work well because I didn't get a particular kind of pump. I got one that I thought would work well. So I went and watched his video that he did a long time ago on how to make a surface skimmer, and I used that to get rid of all the duckweed in one of the tanks. Essentially, it's just a power head that has a, I don't know, a kind of a mesh screening on top of on top of the input. Put a bottle on there, put some filter floss, turn it upside down, and it allows all the water to flow through it. It gets pushed out, and essentially it skims the top of the water, collecting all the duckweed and any kind of detritus or floating plants in the process. The reason why I needed to do that is because the new system here, any of the top tanks won't have duckweed because now it's through an overflow system, so it's essentially the same kind of concept. It's going to flow down, it's going to get trapped in a micron sog, and then I can toss it. So the top tanks are good, and well, that's what I need. But the bottom tanks will always have duckweed or some sort of floating plant, which is completely fine, because those are holding tanks. But the top tanks are grow-out tanks, where I don't want any of the plants to be shaded, if at all possible. So that's why I did overflows. Even though you don't really need a sump-like system on a freshwater tank, my whole purpose for the overflows is eliminate duckweed, and that's what I did. Let's see some more questions. Yo, my plants are doing good, brother. Thanks for the ponderfolia. You're welcome, Bracken. I have yet to be able to grow duckweed. Really? Are cheap CO2 systems from Amazon okay for beginners just starting out to use CO2? Yeah, you can find the Aquatech regulators are fine. I've used them. They'll be fine for one tank. I tried them. It didn't work because I was trying to run multiple tanks off of it, and it's just basically what I'm doing is a whole giant custom setup here, which I had no idea what I was doing walking into it. I figured it would be cheaper than, you know, doing multiple systems. Turns out it's almost as expensive, and it's taken a lot of figuring out because I knew nothing about it going into it, so it's been challenging, but I think I figured it out. Are two 18-inch T8 Zoomed Flora sun bulbs over 55 enough to grow healthy low-light plants? I would say so. What's up, Eric? How's it going? My red plants turn green. Ludwigia, Reuben, Repens, Rotella colorata. EI dosing, high iron, 96 watt T5 on a 29-gallon tank. Why? If you're dosing, it's probably not enough light, honestly. Justin, are you going to sell your H2O shirt again? I probably will, Jenny. I'm actually working on a different way of selling shirts right now. It'll probably be available when we come back from our trip. That'll probably be the next thing on my list to get done. But also, Jenny, you gotta message me because I need to set you up with the plant pack. I don't know if you signed up for it yet. Let's see. I have a small amount of water lettuce floating in my shrimp tank and doesn't seem to be growing. Is there a fert I should be adding? No, but just make sure that the tops of the water lettuce are staying dry, that they're not being pushed down by like a hang-on back filter or bubbles coming up from like a air stone and getting them wet, because that will cause them to die. Sometimes it just, water lettuce is tricky. It's an easy plant when it grows fine, but when it doesn't grow, it's like hard to adapt sometimes. So hit the like button when you get a chance, everyone. Thank you, Aquatic Jack. Yeah, if you guys could definitely hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream. And if you're new here or just watching this for the first time, subscribe. Really helps out, and I appreciate it. What does my Java Fern moss... What does my Java moss keep melting? I'm guessing you mean, why does my Java moss keep melting? Mark, where did you get Java moss from? I had a bad algae outbreak, got tired of dealing with it, had to throw everything away. Damn, really, Eric? Again? Or are you talking about your previous experience? I made a joke in my video that I had a bone to pick with you because I ordered 6 and I got like 10 to 15 corkscrew valves. So yeah, so we, I don't advertise it because I don't want to set the expectations like at this. But when you order valves, typically corkscrew valve, regular jungle valve, Italian valve, or contortion valve, those plants do, they're very tricky to ship. So oftentimes they melt and they get very sensitive. So when you order one, technically you're expecting to get 1, but I ship 3 because my hopes are even if 2 of them melt, you're still left with the 1 plant that you bought, so hopefully that does okay. And if you're lucky and all 3 survive, then you get 3 plants for the price of 1, essentially. And I do that just because it's easier for me to ship extra in hopes that at least 1 makes it, rather than ship 1, the 1 doesn't make it, and then I have to reship because, you know, typically I won't charge for shipping or charge for the replacement, and I eat that cost. So, you know, and shipping is expensive. Shipping usually costs more than the valve plant and does itself. And so that's why I throw in extra valves of those kind. But the ruby reds I typically don't throw in extra because those do great. Even the Italian valves do great. I really don't have to throw in extra for those, but I choose to. Typical jungle valves, contortion valves, and corkscrew valves are the trickiest to ship. And we have a new valve coming in this week called the Leopard Italian valve, which supposedly has stripes, and I'm very excited to see it. How fast are your pink flamingos growing? How many leaves a month? I haven't really counted them because they're all bunched up together. I didn't really separate them, but there's a substantial amount of new leaves, so I would say I probably have roughly about 15 leaves, and I started, I think, with 5 plants. So let's see. It was just covering, was still dealing with it from last time. Oh, Jesus, really? I got a new Flipple Fresh 2.0 LED. Should I get a regular wall timer or their expensive Wi-Fi module? Just get a regular wall timer, or get even the other thing that I got. Here it is. Hopefully I don't mess up the stream. So these I got a while back for an AC in our old apartment. I'm actually going to be using these more. These are Wi-Fi controlled outlets, but what's cool about them is you can actually program them through the app. This particular brand is through NQ Neo. For anybody that wants to see what it is, if it might be too bright, let's see. I don't know. Anyway, just look up the brand ANKUOO Neo on Amazon. And I'm sure there's other Wi-Fi outlets that you could do this with. But this is essentially the same price as a regular timer, but you can control this through your phone. So if you ever want to make sure that maybe your light's on, maybe you're worried about it or something like that, you can program it all to here and still have a timer. And that's just a cheap solution that I would recommend. I have very hard water, so valve should do very well as soon as I get it set in. What kind of ferts should I use? So don't use Flourish XL because Flourish XL kills valves. But I mean, you could use root tabs. I sell root tabs. You could also order other types of root tabs. For all your other plants, you could use like liquid fertilizer. I sell my own as well. But if you want to use like Seachem's brand, there's that also. We should have. It probably won't be until the week of next week, but we should have all of our fertilizer back in stock. That's going to include our high-tech formula, our low-tech formula, and the shrimp safe formula as well. So I would stay on the lookout for that. Let's see. I'm going to add new substrate, dip out the old substrate. I think it's because I added clay in the form of an iron source. It's very possible. Would I need a cool pack if 80 to 90s Fahrenheit? So anything over 90 degrees, yes. If it's below 90 degrees, no. Wall timers are cheap. They're like $8 on Amazon. Yeah, I think, but this Wi-Fi thing is like 12 bucks. So you could get this like for essentially the same price as a wall timer, but I have Wi-Fi capabilities. I think it's worth the extra 4 bucks. What is your view on wild harvested plants, excluding bugs they may carry? Also, have you ever worked with aloe vera? So I actually have an aloe vera plant upstairs. It was left over from my father, who passed away a couple of years ago. And I remember growing up as a kid, he was like, as I was a kid, he would always be like, oh, you get mosquito bites, put aloe on it. You got sunburn, put aloe on it. You got a cut, put aloe on it, like nonstop. And I would always give him a hard time about it, but he loved that plant. And it was like probably at least 10 years old, this aloe plant. I still have it upstairs. It was like the one thing when he passed away, I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep this alive. So I still have aloe, which I think is cool. And as far as wild harvesting plants, yes and no. It depends on the situation, really. There's a lot of controversy surrounding bucephalandrid. That's because it's in a part of the world that is, well, a lot of people where they get their bucephalandrid from is the wild. They're wild harvesting it. A lot of people will advocate that it's destroying the habitat by them ripping it out. But where it's originally from is palm oil plantations. And essentially, the forest is being deforested by the palm oil plantations, and that will cause the bucephalandrid to eventually go extinct either way. So, by people collecting it in the wild, bringing it into the hobby, it allows us to keep it throughout our tanks, and hopefully one day maybe be able to reintroduce it into the wild. But at the rate it's going between wild harvesting and deforestation, I don't think it's going to be around in the wild for much longer. Then again, I'm not super versed on the subject. I just have read a little bit about it. So that's one particular plant. But everything else that, is able to be cultured or propagated easily, I feel like, collecting a small sample for the wild to bring it into the hobby and then, doing your due diligence with that is ideal. The problem with Boost is Boost just takes forever to convert from its immersed form to its submerged form, so people just want it, and it just, that's kind of what's going on with that. But yeah, I have 2 of the Fluval lights, both with timers. The lights were a great investment. That is true. The Fluval 2.0 lights, by far one of the best lights I've used. There's another light called the SB Reefs. That's Sam Boy Reef lights. Even though it says reef lights in it, those are particularly very good for planted tanks from what I've seen on forums and everything else that I read. However, I want to try them. I don't know, but I've seen some crazy stuff from them. So, does your dog drink out of the tanks? The other day I actually caught Honey drinking out of the bottom tank here. She started taking a lick. I'm like, get down, stop that. Let's see. Oh. Bunch of questions coming in. Jesus. Alright, let's get to it. When I planted the tissue culture plant, the leaves didn't melt, but they don't look pink at all. Should I trim them off and allow for new growth? That's on the flamingo crypts. No, personally, I just leave the flamingo crypts alone and let them do their thing. Don't move them around. Alright, let's take some questions real quick from Instagram and Facebook and see what's popping over here. Oh, Jesus. All right, a bunch of questions here. How's it going? I'm on a big island of Hawaii, and I'm looking for a flamingo crypt. Do you know if I can get them shipped to Hawaii? So I don't know. I'm sure you could if you found the right vendor. I personally don't have any for sale yet, but when they are available for sale, I do ship to Hawaii, so you could order some if you would like. What plants would you recommend for a 55 gravel with no CO2? So you're going to want to stick to low light plants, Java Fern, Anubis, Java Moss, Jungle Val, Rotella. I see things already mentioned by JJ. You could also try Boost. Boost is low tech. You could try Bulbitis. We have some Bulbitis. Java Moss, pretty good, pretty easy. And also sword plants like Amazon swords are pretty easy as well. Do you sell Dragonstone? If not, I usually just go to Rachel O'Leary. So I don't sell any Dragonstone just yet. I'm trying to find a good price on it because I want to get my costs as low as possible so I don't have to charge a lot for it. I feel like I want to get things as best and quality and affordable to you guys as I can. And I just haven't found the right supplier. Although I've been in the works with other new suppliers to get new things. So there's going to be new plants, a bunch of new products, and other stuff. What's up, Heather? How's it going? Is it cheaper to build your own CO2 regulator with a solenoid or to just buy one? The ATTOMIC regulator is a little bit out of my budget. I've never built my own, but the one that I have is custom built by somebody that builds them, and I paid, I think, maybe 120 bucks for it, and it's awesome. It's a dual stage and all that. Anything probably cheaper to build, but I've never built a regulator. It depends. It's cheaper to build if you know what you're doing and you're not going to waste money on things you don't need. Building this rack was definitely not cost effective nor time effective. It took me, I think we started this sometime in May, I want to say, maybe even sooner. It had to have been May or April we started this rack, and it's just now done. We're in August. That was 4 months to set that up. Not time effective, not cost effective. That could have been probably set up in 2 to 3 weeks by people that know what they were doing. Instead, I chose to try and do it myself because I wanted to save some dollars, in quotations, and that didn't happen. So, what's up, Wilder? You know any good places to buy shrimp online? Yeah, check out my boy Flip Aquatics. Also on YouTube, Flip Aquatics, Instagram, Flip Aquatics, or you could also hit up my local fish store, Fishtown USA NJ on either Facebook or Instagram. He has some shrimp too. He can hook you up. Either one of those places will definitely be able to hook you up for shrimp. Let's see what some people are saying on Facebook real quick. Let's see. What's a good plant that eats a lot of nitrates? So you're going to be looking at duckweed one if you want floating plants. Duckweed or dwarf water lettuce, that'll absorb nitrates like crazy. If not, water sprite is another quick growing plant. Hornwort, Anacris, Rotalas, Ludwigias, Hygros, such as water wisteria. All those are going to be fast growing, fast absorbing plants. Wilder says I'm the best. Thank you. I appreciate it. Your tanks look nicely set up. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, we're still empty on a couple tanks, but that's for tomorrow's shipment. We left some room, so all that's coming in. Will 2 little water lettuce plants be enough to grow more? Yeah, all you need is 1 essentially, and it'll just grow from there. What is the best way to get rid of / prevent brown algae or blackbeard algae from growing on plants in an established tank? Essentially, proper maintenance, Michael. Brown algae so blackbeard algae is caused by a couple of different things. Too much flow, too little flow, too much CO2, not enough CO2, or too high organics. And what that means is basically you need to do more water changes, take out dying plant matter, clean your filters, do a nice clean out, or get stuff that eats it and you won't have to deal with it. It's really up to you. Supposedly Nerite snails eat blackbeard algae, and Siamese algae eaters eat blackbeard algae as well. But just proper maintenance, making sure you have the right amount of flow in the tank. Normally you'll see blackbeard algae forming on your filter output, and that's just because it really likes that high intense flow. But if you don't have enough flow, it could also grow as well. So it's really tricky to balance and get going great. So damn, we're up to like 100 people right now almost. I think we got 25 there. Yeah, that's awesome, guys. We're at like just under 100. It's awesome. You see empty tanks, start stocking more high-tech stem plants. Yeah, so actually what's going to happen is the top 4 tanks here are all going to be grout tanks for high-tech plants or just stem plants in general. And then the bottom 4 tanks are all going to be holding tanks for plants like Anubis and Crypts and Swords and stuff like that. And then the other 3 tanks that I have along the side, 2 of those will still be stocking tanks like that require just, you know, like Anubis and Swords and stuff like that. And the other ones will also have stems like it is set up now. Let's see. Tim says Java moss and other plants with black velvet like fuzz growing on it. Otherwise, everything is fine. So Tim, that's probably blackbeard algae. I would you could treat it with hydrogen peroxide like Tony says. But that just kind of gets rid of what you have there. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem. The best bet is to trim out any existing algae, and then try and figure out what's going on with it there. Dwarf tiger lotus or aquarium lily, I'm guessing you mean. I like the tiger lotus more. Let's see. Best plants for low maintenance, low tech tanks. So you're going to want stuff that's slow growing, like Java fern, Anubis, sword plants, crypt plants. Those are all slow growing. They don't need a lot of maintenance, and they're all low tech. I dose potassium and phosphate, but do not dose nitrogen. Should I get that as well? Yes, nitrogen is essential for plant growth. Like I said, we have an all-in-one fertilizer called Vital. I would show you a bottle, but we don't have any set up yet because we have a new label and a new bottle type, and I just haven't put them together yet. And that has everything. It has all those nutrients in one. So let's see. Hey! Knock it off. Got Java Moss online. eBay? Nice. I also have Java Moss in stock if anybody needs it. Anubis, Java Fern, Moss Ball. Yeah, those are all gold. Yeah, the Wi-Fi module is a cash grab. Like, it's cool, but you could do the same thing with that freaking little timer, or the little plug-in thing. What's up, Turtle Girl? How's it going? Good evening, JH. Do you have a CO2 reactor preference? Greg Ricks, Surges, or other? I personally think the Rex Griggs is going to be the best, but I haven't fully tested to know. These are just theories based on information that I read online, so I'm hoping that it does what it's supposed to do. Are you not worried about mixing all those mosses so close to each other, getting them mixed up with smaller trimmings, floating bits, etc., and no longer having pure 100% species mix when you sell? Yes and no. So yeah, things can become conjumbled in one. It can happen. What I'm going to be doing is we're getting more ledges in. Hopefully this week I'll have them. All of the mosses will be isolated on those ledges. They'll be wrapped and tied, and typically we won't be doing trimmings in the in the tanks. They'll be taken out, put in a bucket, trimmed or pulled excess off. Hey, we'll pull off the excess, and then we'll put those on new ledges, and that should essentially take care of that. There's no way to really prevent it from being 100% a particular type of moss when you have more than one in a tank. And I mean, that's just a disclaimer that's going to be on the website. May contain other mosses. If you ask me, though, that's cool because you get extra moss, if anything. Let's see. Except for 99. Oh, wait. Just to be able to stimulate sunrise and sunset, not worth it. $4 timer from Walmart. That can set various times at once. Love 2.0. Yep. Jeez, you guys are talking a lot. Hold on, let me catch up here. Holy crap. Okay, here we go. Can you tell the difference between what? What are we telling the difference from? I don't know what we're telling the difference from. I hate it when my mosses get mixed up and they become a mess in my tanks if they do. So yeah, so a lot of the mosses that I had previously all did get mixed up when we moved. That's because I had nothing labeled, right? Now every single bit is labeled, so that way even if there's strands that go and find their way elsewhere, I'll either one, remove them, or two, I'll be able to identify them and put them back where they belong. Typically, if I see a strand that doesn't belong to that particular moss, I will just throw it away. It doesn't make sense to try and figure out what it is, it being that there's so many different types of moss now. So, and the existing moss, actually, this is something that I'm thinking about doing. I have a ton of moss that got mixed up that I have no idea what it is. It's either Christmas, Peacock, Weeping, or Java Moss. I'm pretty sure it's not Java Moss, so it's probably one of those first three. It's all mixed up, so I'm thinking about just selling that as mystery moss, and essentially you get whatever, you know, is mixed up. I don't know what it is, so. Any tips for growing val in sand? Is it difficult? No, just put in root tabs and you'll be fine. Can second the SB Reef freshwater light. I have 2, can punch through 30 inches of water, no problem. There you go. I'm debating on getting the SB Reef lights, just expensive. They're actually not too expensive compared to other LED lights on the market. What's up, Jasmine? How's it going? Oh, thank you so much, Chris Bailey, for your order. I just saw it come in. Really appreciate it. And shout out to anybody else that might have ordered during the live stream. Let's see if there's any other orders that came in. So, I think, nope, Heidi's was beforehand, but thank you anyway, Heidi, if you're watching. Maybe Java moss warm to water? Huh? You need Lucas to build racks for you? You can do it in 5 hours. I do. I should call him up. What's up, Famous Jones? How's it going? Oh, what happened? The live stream went down. What? What the hell happened? Are we back? I'm confused. Shoot. Refresh. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. The live stream went down all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. It's weird. Anyway, let's touch on the rest of the questions here. I honestly kind of thought the SP Reef lights were pretty cheap, at least for my situation. Only other option was building a high-powered light DIY with rapid LED. Yeah, so either that or buying Kessels, and Kessels are expensive as hell. So, and you'll need a bunch of them depending on how long the tank is. Just received my grab bag. The plants are amazing. Well, awesome, Famous. If anybody doesn't know, we actually sell grab bag packages on the website. If you're stuck for what kind of plants you want, or maybe just want a mystery plants, actually, they're not in stock. I need to make these in stock. Just realized, I'm like, wait, as I'm talking about this, let me make sure they're in stock. Okay, so now they're in stock. There we go. I was like, wait, a bunch of people ordered these. They're probably not in stock. Let me make sure that's okay before I talk about it. So yeah, so grab bags is on the website. You can just type in grab bag, it'll come up, and it's cool because you could essentially get, you know, just random assortment of plants. Sometimes I'll include things maybe that aren't on the website, or just, you know, random stuff. So would red swords be able to grow in gravel low-tech tank? It can, it just may not color up the best. Has anyone heard of a place to get rarer Anubis variants in Canada? I got lucky, found some variegated Nana. Can't find much else. The Lizander, you can talk to Lizzie'sFishies.com or Lizzie's Fishies on Instagram. She may be able to help you out. I don't know what her stock is, but I know she does service Canada very well, so. What's up, Challenge the Wild? When is the plant pack starting? So there's 2 days left, or, well, so September 1st is the last day to sign up. After September 1st, you won't be able to sign up for this first plant pack. The first plant pack will ship September 10th or September 11th. Is basically that Monday, so to ship out that Monday. And you'll have it that week. We go away that weekend, the following weekend, so we'll be away, but yeah. Oh dang, H2O Army Strong. I decided to grow my water spray floating. Yeah, that's... Water spray is good floating, and I actually send out tons of babies, too. Did you think we're weak, James? We ain't weak, James. H2O Army Strong. Justin, I'm sending you a pic of my plant to tank. There has been white cotton stuff, and I don't know what it is. It might be a fungus of some sort. Send me a picture. I'll take a look at it. Thanks for reminding me to do a water change. Well, that's what this is all about. You see, Everybody says, well, you don't do water changes, so why keep it water change Wednesday? And that is typically because I like to remind you guys to do your water changes. I don't do them because I don't. I'm bad. I'm horrible. My fish probably hate me. Although my fish are just fine, so I don't think it's a problem. Let's see. Hey, your dog is making a lot of noise. Yeah, I apologize. The dogs like to play. Right now, the one is ripping stuffing out of the toy because they managed to tear it in half. Like the old days when people got, what was that form of torture called when they were horse and something, I think it's called, where they were tied to horses and pulled in half. So a natural way to get rid of blue-green algae is just flow and controlling your light. Essentially, yes, but if you're talking about cyanobacteria, use ChemiPure, I think or ChemiClean. ChemiClean works great, fantastic, didn't harm any plants, and went well. Is there even an organic option for fertilizing? Other than like dirt and just feeding your fish? Not really. And we're back. I don't know what's going on. If you're tired of the stream dropping because YouTube apparently has issues, you can head on over to Facebook and watch us there. We are streaming on Facebook still without any hiccups, unfortunately. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Who here is going to Chicago? I am. Damn, there's a lot of questions. I'm missing all of these. Instagram is about to go down. Everybody on Instagram, if you want, head over on to Facebook and YouTube to watch the rest of the stream. I'm going to let the stream go down on Instagram and not bring it back up. So, what's up, Mark Turner? How's it going? Joining us on Facebook. So you must remineralize, is that correct? I basically just add fertilizer. I do EI dosing, and I don't do water changes. I top off and I just added stuff. Okay, here's where I left off. Yeah, snails will eat that fungus or any sort of stuff that's growing in your tank, Jenny, typically. Or shrimp will eat it too. It could be a biofilm, that's right. Pup wants equal airtime on cam, that's right. I've noticed a lot of pinholes in my Java fern. Is that a nutrient problem, snail problem? Just send me a picture of it. It could just be a dying and it's going to send up babies. It cure, hold on one second, let me grab the stuff I use. Eat your food. So do I know H2O change? That's right. No water change for us, elites. So if you have an ick, right, and you have a planted tank or you have shrimp, this stuff is completely safe. It's all natural. It's called Herb Tana by Microlife. I'm actually probably going to be carrying this soon on the website, but you can find it on Amazon. I think it's 20 bucks or so. Really good stuff. I used this when I had ick when I first started in the plant and tank hobby, and I had ick in some of my tanks, or my one tank at the time. I had some ick. I used this within 2 days. I didn't see anything. It was gone, and I had spent a couple days trying to treat it through other matters, and it just was not working. That got rid of it in 2 days, and I didn't lose any fish after that the moment I started treating with it. So Herb Tana, great product. It's actually probably linked in the YouTube video. If you guys scroll down, it's probably in the description as well. But it's good stuff. Let's see. I'll be making an order from you soon. I hope to see you in Chicago too. Yep. We will we'll be in Chicago. I'm pretty sure Margaret's coming. She may not be at the convention though, because she's coming. Well, no, she's gonna come to the convention, but I'm gonna go hang out with all the people afterwards, and And yeah, people want to see the label. It's called Herb Tana. It's probably going to be spelled backwards, but basically it's the word herb, H-E-R-B, and then the last part of it is T-A-N-A. So Herb Tana ick medication. It's all natural. It's good for other stuff other than ick. It's good for flukes. Colanin, I don't know what that is. Costia, Trichodina, Odinium. So it basically cures a lot of parasitic diseases. But what's nice about that is it's plant safe. It didn't wipe out any plants when I used it, and it's continued to be really good for me. Ever used DIY CO2? I have, and I immediately upgraded to regular CO2 because you will see an increase in growth like you've never seen before, and it will be incredibly just a pain in the butt to have to keep refilling those every week. I want some mystery moss. I got you, Jasmine or Nicole. For how much? For how much what? For how much is mystery moss? I don't know. I don't know yet. I will do everything I can to go. Hector, what was that? What was that? Did you just jump on that? No. You jumped on that? No. It might have been one of my CO2 lines. It might have just blown again. I heard it like a pop.
I'm just trying to level up 13. I'm 14.
Oh, dude, I already read that. If you ever get Crypt Silver Queen or Stylata, I will definitely get some. I actually got a pretty cool Crypt. I think it's called color. It's something like Colorado or something like that. It's really cool looking. I'll try snails. Thanks for the help. You're welcome. I heard Corey is doing like a meetup in Chicago. Am I correct? I do believe so. He's gathering a bunch of the YouTubers. I'll be there. I'll probably be hanging out with Joey, maybe Rachel if she decides to go. Or if Joey goes. I don't know if Joey's going yet. If he does go, I'll be hanging out with him. And Corey and Rob from Flip Aquatics. So yeah, the stream's just messed up. I don't know what's going on with it. Sorry guys. Let me get back to the chat here. Oh, my nose is so itchy. Are Petite Anubis rare? Not really. What kind of lights are you running? Fluval 2.0s all the way. Choose one floating plant. Water spreader, dwarf water lettuce. Ready to go. I like dwarf water lettuce more. It's more manageable. Well, no, water sprite would be more manageable. Dwarf water lettuce though is I don't know. I like dwarf water lettuce. Have you ever tried land moss in aquariums at all? They can be surprisingly well when you clean them of all the soil and place one small, medium, gravel-sized substrate. Never tried it. I'm sure it could work though. Anubis Nana Petite is so expensive because Anubis 1 is super hard to grow, not hard, but slow to grow, and 2, it's the most it's probably the most sought after Anubis. So, Twitch isn't working. Go fix it. I actually haven't streamed to Twitch in like 4 weeks because the software that I was using doesn't like me. I'm confused. Also, give me some tips on Java Moss. Java Moss is pretty easy. Where's Margaret? Your live stream is 99.99% better with her in it. Damn, Jenny. Damn. Ah, alright. Maybe we are... Cordata. There you go. It's Cordata. That's the crypt that I got. Holy crap. I think Margaret is downloading a movie. She very well could be. So if you had a tank full of crypts, how would you feed? I would do root tabs. Do you have any guppy grass left? I probably have some. If you need any, just message me. Let's see. Thoughts on adding red clay to substrate for iron? Does that help the red plants even though I'm already dosing it? Yeah, putting iron at the roots will definitely help, but don't put too much or you get an algae explosion. Have you ever used general hydroponics ferts in your fish tanks? Nope, I personally have not. My one dog is Walter and the other one is Honey. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat. There's so many comments coming through. Can low light plants survive under high light? So most of the time, if you take a low light plant and you put it in a high light tank, the existing stuff will probably die or get a lot of algae, and then you'll see new growth that's adjusted to it. I would rather get Pinto or Snow White Anubis. Well, I have Pinto. I've been waiting to get Snow White. Got a good deal on 5 clumps of Nano Petit and 2 Anubis Nano. Nice. Jenny, if you need Anubis Nano, by the way, message me. I'll hook you up. Or if you need Petit. I have some black-brown stuff growing on my new different types of Anubis plants, and it is hard to scrape off. What is it, and how do I kill it dead? So Logan, what you're probably gonna have is you're having black spot or brown spot algae. It's probably gonna be really hard to remove no matter what you do. Typically, what I've done in the past, I just remove those leaves. Get rid of them. They're not doing the plant any good. They're covered in algae, and you're just giving a surface for the plant to continue, or for the algae to continue to grow on. So I would just get rid of them. I love your YouTube videos. Mine? Oh, thank you. I missed it earlier. Do your root tabs have any copper in them? I have bamboo shrimp to worry about. So with the root tabs, there is I don't think it has like copper really like at any sort of significant amount. When you place it in a substrate, basically it's going to trap the nutrients there, and that's for the roots of the plant to get at. It's not really going to affect water chemistry all that much, so you should be fine, even if there was copper in there. Where would I message you for guppy grass? Message me either through email at support@h2oplants.com. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram, both H2O Plants on either or. I've noticed some pinholes. Oh, we already read that. Love your streams, very educational, thank you. So I have a diatom algae on my flamingo crypts, older leaves. Should I cut them off or leave them still? If you don't have new leaves growing yet, like fully, I'd leave them. Or like Ryan says, you could get autos and that'll help as well. My banana plant grows fast. My tiger barbs ate one leaf. I cut stem and it grew back in a week. Nice. Alright, I think we're all caught up on questions. Oh, wait. What are some good plants for small tetras to hide in? It depends on the tank layout, but plants that you could try. Giant hairgrass, water sprite, water wisteria, any sort of high grower Ludwigia plant really kind of gets bushy and allows them to have hiding places. Vals, if you want to kind of like separate the background a bit. Sorry, I'm yawning. And that's all I can think of really right now. Okay, I'm thinking water lettuce. Does it do okay if I have a sponge filter with lots of bubbles? So you want to keep the tops of water lettuce dry. If they get wet, they will die. So if you have any sort of bubbler, you want to try and keep your plants to one side of the tank where it's not getting splashed on. If you can't do that, you're probably not going to be able to grow them all that well. I have some autos. I think the plants are too small for them. They stay on the bronze. It's very possible, yeah. They need at least a big enough leaf for them to suck onto. If the leaf is too small, they're not going to really go after it. So, it's very possible. Let's see, have we gotten any more orders? Nope, just that one so far. see here. Do you need any more spot tail reticulated flying fox? They are very nice size. Evan, if you're still watching, I may need some soon. Thanks for the shrimp shout out. You're welcome, Evan. Evan is the owner of Fishtown USA, the guy that I plugged earlier. If you're looking for shrimp or in general any kind of fish, he can hook you up. Let's see. You could do Pogo Steamin' Stilettos Octopus and just have them go crazy. That is true. I actually have some of that, so if you're looking for it, let me know. I've been growing it out, waiting for it to grow, and then I was going to sell it on the website. But if you want some Pogo Steamin' Octopus, I got some of that too. What is the plant you sell the most? Probably either Dwarf Sage or Red Tiger Lotus. Those are my top 2 sellers right now. Placing my order now. Thank you so much, Dave. I really appreciate it. I have spots that are green on my Anubis. I don't think it's algae because my autos nor my pleco will touch it. Do you have any ideas? So, if it is, it could be algae, and typically, depending on the pleco and depending on like autos, they don't really have anything to scrape off the hard green spot algae that sometimes forms. So if that's the type of algae, they're not going to be able to get it. Some plecos, they think, do have some sort of like teeth mechanism that they can scrape it off with, but snails, like Nerite snails, would be perfect for scraping it off, because they actually have those, I don't know what they're called, but they're like 2 little hook teeth looking things, and they dig into it. So, but it could also be just too intense light. I love and swear by water spray almost as good as Pothos by removing nitrates. That is very true. It's very good. Michelle, if you need to, you could shoot me a picture on Facebook or Instagram. I'll take a look at it. Who did you mention before that sells good shrimp? So, Flip Aquatics at flipaquatics.com, Rob. Or you can go to my local fish store. He actually will sell you fish over the internet. He doesn't really advertise. He doesn't have like a checkout thing, but you have to message him. And his thing is Fishtown USA NJ. So if you go to his page, either on Facebook, I think he has a website, and Instagram, you can message him and say, hey, I was looking for this. Usually he can get you whatever you were looking for. It may take him a week or so, but he got me the reticulated flying foxes that I've been using, which I really like, and I'm sure he can get you whatever you're looking for. So yeah, if you want those, hit him up. And outside of that, Rob from Flip Aquatics also has a very good shrimp. And if you're looking for like nano fish, you could also try Rachel O'Leary, of course. If you're not familiar with her, MissJinx.com, she can hook you up. Is Lucas selling shrimp again? I'm not sure. Also, LR Brett's Aquatics sells shrimps. I think he sells fish too. Never ordered from him, so I don't know his quality, but I've heard good things. So, how long do you keep your lights on? Right now, 8 hours. We'll probably be upping that to 10 eventually. Yeah, Rachel O'Leary for regular fish, Flip Aquatics for shrimp. If neither of them have what you're looking for or can get what you're looking for, you can try my local fish store, Fishtown USA NJ. There, you have to specify New Jersey because there is another Fishtown in New York. Let's see. I have hard white spots on the inside of my tank glass. Is that algae or hard water deposits? It's only happening on the old used tanks. It's probably old, hard water deposits. Andrew says, I will check on your site. Thank you very much. Famous Jones says, what type of sunglasses you have? You could be a Blues Brother. So I have these. My hater blockers. I should do all my videos like this. Pull off a Casey Neistat look. I was actually debating on doing all my videos like this because, one, I'm using the iPhone. Like, I shoot all my videos on my iPhone. So when I'm looking at the phone and recording, I have to like make a mental note to look exactly at the lens, or if I'm looking slightly off, it annoys me because it looks like I'm looking at it, but you could tell that I'm looking at the screen, and that annoys me so much. So I'm a big fan of Casey Neistat, and when he said, "Oh, I wear sunglasses so I can avoid having that weird look on my face that makes me look like I'm looking at the viewfinder versus the lens." That was like, oh, that's an awesome tip. But then I was like, well, if I do this in every video, people will be like, oh, you're just trying to copy Casey. So does Rachel O'Leary ship livestock? She does. Just curious, you do H2O plants full time? If not, what do you do other 40 hours in a week? So yeah, I don't do this full time yet. It may be an option in the future. Who knows? We'll see where it takes us. But for right now, I work 40 hours, actually 45 hours at my other job. I work for an electrical contractor. I look at electrical blueprints, and I do stuff there. I do estimating, and that's my 45-hour-a-week job. So typically, if you ever message me and I don't respond right away, it's typically because I'm at work doing stuff and I just haven't had a chance to respond right away. But I usually try and answer everybody within 24 hours. Email is the tricky part because I get bombarded with emails. So honestly, the best way to reach out to me is Instagram or Facebook, because it's easier to get directly to those messages, where my email is everything from customers' orders to questions to vendors to purchases to a bunch of stuff that it's just like sorting through the inbox is a nightmare. You don't have DIY Ray-Bans like Casey. I know. I gotta spray paint mine. Maybe I should get custom lenses with the freaking water droplet and leaf of the H2O like on these. I'll print it on the glass so it'll be like one of those funky ones. But these are actually just cheap $20 pair of sunglasses from Walgreens, because whenever I buy expensive pairs, they always break. So cheap is the way to go for me because I'm always dropping them. So I'm okay with cheap. Somebody else just placed another order. It was for $8.50, so I'm curious if they got free plants. Ah, they did. They used a $5 off reward. Well, thank you, Dave, either way, for your order. I appreciate it. And if you guys didn't know, you could actually sign up on the website for our rewards program, and you get $5 pretty much when you do everything there for the rewards program. You get $5 instantly, so it's pretty good. If your calling card to have sunglasses on your head, no one else does that. Oh, it's your calling card to have sunglasses on your head, as no one else is to do it. Yep, this is true. I just like it because, I don't know. I don't know, I've been so used to putting them on my head for like the last year or so. Kind of been my thing. Thinking about shaving, well, not shaving, but cutting my hair. Like right now I have really long hair. You can't tell, but the man bun is like super long right now. So I'm waiting for it to get a little bit longer, then I'm going to donate that to some sort of hair thing. And then go back to my old hairstyle, which was, it's actually, if you're familiar with Challenge the Wild, it's very similar to his, where it's like poofy in the front. I don't know. Any tips for removing fish from heavily planted aquariums? Ruru says wait till night to catch the fish. That's true. The other thing you can do is, if you have CO2, turn up your CO2 all the way and flood it with CO2. Your fish will instantly go to the top of the water, gasping for air, and you scoop them out real quick. Might sound cruel. I've been told that's how they do it overseas by my good friend Kevin Kelly, which Kevin Kelly might be on a future video here very, very soon. Or, yeah, you could drain the tank down to him. I have pothos and the tank is about 5 months old. Should I maybe wait it out then? What are you looking to do, Semester? Thoughts on Phoenix planted 24/7 plus in 24/7 mode, highlight, medium light, good for plants. I love that I can always see in my tank. Have loaches, love roaming dusk to dawn. So I don't like the 24/7 mode. Blue light typically will cause algae if it's left on overnight and all that. So I don't like it. With that said, do what you want, of course. I think it, depending on the size of the tank, it's probably anywhere between medium and low. It's probably not high. That CO2 trick genius, though, yeah, it is. There's an antibiotic that can get rid of blue-green algae. Yeah, Chemi Clean works great. I want to see Kevin. He is the bomb.com. Kevin is pretty cool. He's there's something that's over that way. Can't show you guys because I don't want to spoil it, but there's something over there that he's going to be working on. Is there anything that will harm fish or plants? Chemi Clean doesn't harm fish or plants. I used it. It gets rid of blue-green algae very easily. How should I plant the Hydro Japan? So, basically, you can do it one or two ways. Either you could just take the bunch and kind of either weigh it down with, like, gravel or sand or something, kind of, like, put it down at the bottom of substrate, sprinkle it on it, and that'll help hold it. You can push it down into the substrate. You can divide it up and make little sections. Or, essentially, you could even just float it, and it will continue to spread. And then you can plant it once it has new roots established. Pretty much what I did with mine is I just balled it up, I took it, and I stuck it right down in the substrate, and then it just kind of grew out from there. But because you got so much char, I would recommend probably breaking it up into a couple clumps and planting those individually. What are you doing? Come here. Come here. Oh, not there. Okay. Okay. Oh, who's your baby? Who's your good doggy? That's it? That's all I got? That's all I got. That's all I got. Can I have another kiss? Can I have another kiss? Oh, you stink. What do you have? Which one of you went to the bathroom down here? That smells. Either that or he farted. I don't know. It stinks down here. Alright, I don't know what happened to it. Alright guys, we're gonna end this probably in about 15 minutes, just so you guys know. 15 minutes. Let's see, do we have... Where is it? Where is that? I can't find it. I'm on your website now. What is your suggestion for a short carpet plant? I have a Fluval Aqua Skylight and Eco Complete. Michelle, dwarf 4-leaf clover is really tiny. If you didn't see our video on that, I did a plant profile 2 weeks ago on it, and it is very good. I highly recommend it. Let's see. Well, we're not leaving yet. 15 minutes, so. Isn't blue-green algae the toxic one? I think it's cyanobacteria, and it's not really toxic. Do I absolutely need CO2? I have a 30-gallon with the Nubis and swords. No. So CO2 is not needed to grow plants. It'll help, but it's definitely not needed. You'll see a difference in growth, that's for sure, but if you're sticking to low light, easy stuff like Nubis and swords, you don't need it. You definitely don't need it. Where the hell? Okay, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Apparently some forms of blue-green algae are toxic. I don't think many are, but who knows? Who knows? Not me. Let's see. Tanks in your basement collect more CO2 naturally, as CO2 is heavier than O2 and nitrogen, so it tends to collect more in basements and thus into your tanks. Oh, really? It's good to know. Does flame moss need to be planted in substrate, or can I attach it to rock? You can definitely attach it to rock. Does water spray have to be in substrate when submerged? I want to stick one piece in a treasure ornament I have. So no, so water spray doesn't need to be planted in substrate. It could float, it could be halfway in the tank, it could be tied to stuff. Just be careful when you tie it, it could be fragile and snap the leaves, but they'll still grow new plants from it. I saw you have a Madagascar lace in the jar upstairs. I thought they were high demand plants. So, yes and no. There's plants out there that people will claim, oh, you need this to grow, and I've grown it in ways that just work. I don't know what it is. Like, I have a lot of people say that Hydro Japan, right, or Hydrocodal Trapeda Japan is hard to grow, right, or it requires CO2, it requires high light. I have it growing in the vase upstairs. It's growing. Just window light, no CO2, no nutrients. I'm not dosing those tanks at all. Those tanks don't get water changes. They get fed every other day pretty much, and that's it. I don't feed the tank. I don't do anything to it, and the plants grow. That's Madagascar lace. It's Hydro Japan. That's Pennywort. That's Ludwigia in there. Creeping Jenny. A bunch of plants growing just fine. And the other jar that gets barely any sunlight whatsoever, I have Anubis coffeefolia. I have Anubis coffeefolia, Java fern, flame moss, moss ball, and some bucephalandrid, all growing fine with zero direct light. Literally, it does not get any direct light. It's completely shaded. No water changes, no top offs. I don't even top off the tank because it has a lid, so all the moisture essentially stays inside. I don't even have to top it off. And yeah, no nutrients. Works great. So, does liquid CO2 work, and how does it compare to a CO2 system? CO2 can work, but a CO2 system is going to be way better. Well, also, liquid CO2 can kill vals and crypts and certain other plants. My tank is still a little cloudy. I'm using fluorite. I didn't rinse when I put it in, but I've done 5 water changes. Is there something else I can add to clear it up? Typically, no. That I know of, the best way to do it is, depending on your filter style, either put polyester filling in there, and that'll act as a water polisher. That'll take it out very quickly. Or put in lots of plants or decorations. Basically, when your tank is cloudy and you have decorations in there, the particles will hit the plants or decorations and then fall to the ground as they whirl around the tank. So if you have nothing in there, basically the particles can just keep whirling around and they never essentially settle, depending on the type of particle. So having stuff in there for it to hit would be ideal. Ever had issues growing moss on non-porous rocks? It seems to make it more stringy, less bushy. Thinking of adding a thin layer of black filter padding to help it. Currently trying with mini X-Swiss moss. That's very possible. Post some updated pics of your planted jugs on Instagram. I will. What do you want? Okay. Why do you come out of nowhere? I'm like, what the hell? Somebody could have just came and killed me. Wouldn't even know that. So I will, but that tank that was in that video still has green water. Everything else has been cured. No algae on the glass, because I added an airite snail. He's taking care of everything. The plants are growing great, but there's still algae on the glass. I'm waiting for the plants. Basically, the plants haven't gotten big enough to block the light yet, and it really just needs to block the light. And once it blocks the light, that green water will go away. At least that's my hypothesis. Diatomaticus earth filters are great at clearing any aquarium within 24 to 38 hours, depending on the size. Never heard of those. Ever since you said you use the Rex Grig CO2 reactor, I went to see how much one is. Then I found out that you can make your own. Now I have a DIY project for the weekend. Yeah, you could actually make your own for fairly cheap, probably less than $40, depending on the size of them that you want. You need 2-inch PVC, essentially. Well, I mean, you could do it different sizes, but 2 inches is what's recommended. You need a couple barbed or threaded stuff. I hard piped everything in there. I didn't use barbs. A lot of people make it out of barbs, but I use this new tubing that somebody recommended called SpaFlex or flexible CO2 or flexible PVC, and it worked out great. So yeah, $40, you get the essentially the best, and I use that in quotations because I don't know yet, but essentially the best CO2 dissolver. Honey, really?
What?
She's like tearing into this plastic bottle. And another one bites the dust. Another toy is down. I had a pinched nerve the last couple days and it still hurts. Yeah, like, my neck is all messed up. Alright, I guess that's it for the questions, guys. Oh wait, one more. Curious, what is the proper way to cut brown leaf off of the stem of the 4-leaf clover? Take the whole stem off or cut the leaf off? So if it's completely brown and like not looking at all green, cut it as far close to the root mass as you can. That's fine. If it's at all green and just browning, leave that. It'll be fine. Walter, what are you doing? What are you doing? Got to run. All happy fishing, fish keeping. Can you post a vid or pic of your reactor on Instagram just so I can see exactly what you're talking about? I can send you a video of it if you want. Try applying heat. I did and it didn't work. It's all messed up. I mean, it's better now, but it still hurts. It's more of like just like a soreness now, because I was like, Margaret, rub it, and she's like legit like rubbing it like you would like get a giant massage from like a giant muscular dude. So do low light plants tolerate a high light or do they burn? They will both burn and adapt. It depends on the plant though. What are you doing? Leave her alone. Alright guys, I'm going to sign off for the night. I will see you all next Wednesday. Oh, if you place an order. So all the orders are not being shipped until until Wednesday of next week. Because Monday is a holiday. And so we're not going to be able to do anything that day. Or Sunday when we typically pack the most of the plants. And I think everybody's busy on Monday, so it would literally just be me packing orders, and there's going to be way too many for me to single-handedly do it. So we're going to pack them all Tuesday night. And last question here comes in from Tony before we sign off. What plants are the best for cold water? I have axolotls that I keep at 61 to 68 degrees. So I believe Anubis, Java Fern, Anacris, Water Sprite, maybe Valves can all do well at those temperatures. Ruger says, I need a tiny Asian chick to welcome me back. That is correct. I need a nice little massage there. Anyway, guys, I will see you on next Wednesday, and have a nice weekend, Labor Day, and back to school with everybody else.
I don't want to go to school.
You're going back to school.
No.
Can't wait. Later.
Bye.